Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, December 16th to the 31st, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Just move them down so you can see better. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. So if we have Virgo within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully here at our root. And we have the Devil. So if we have Capricorn energy, again, in our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. We're also going to find that Virgos and Capricorns have a bigger effect on us than we realize. So just being aware of that, especially if we're interacting with them, they can have a tendency to really shake our foundation. So being cognizant of it, being aware of it, means that we can either stop it or just know better. Then we have the Two of Swords. This is new options coming our way. And we have the Six of Cups. There is something here. There's some sort of memories coming forward during this time that we're going to be looking at. And we're actually stepping away from the old. And we're stepping into where our soul and our hearts really desire being. It brings us to our heart self, our emotional self. And we have the Three of Pentacles. This is prosperity that lasts as we move forward. This is also telling us to guard our wealth, to guard what's sacredly important to us. And there is a sense here of honoring the transitions and the transformations that we will be going through as individuals. and being mindful of our work, not underselling ourselves. This is going to be a time where we say, no, this is what I'm worth. Like, this is who I am. And why am I apologizing? Why am I underselling me? Now it's time to move forward in confidence. And then we have the King of Wands, which is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is transformations. This is power. This is also a great connection with our sacral chakra, which is where our creativity and our sensuality is held. Our public arena self is the Seven of Swords. So there's some sort of betrayal and trickery that's coming forward. Now, for a lot of us, we're going to be moving away from betrayals that have defined us for a really long time. And then we have the Four of Wands, celebration. It's a new house, it's a new job, it's a celebration that signifies something new. And it can't even be this birth into ourselves, this release from chains that have been holding us back, and saying, this gets to be me. This is who I am, and I'm no longer living with an apology on my lips. I'm living fully and vibrantly as I was born to be. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So we have right here the King of Pentacles. This is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now, this can be within our own personality that we're going to really see our financial side coming forward, which isn't a bad thing at all. Money is a good thing. Money, keeps us going, keeps a roof over our head, keeps our bellies fed. But what we're going to see here is kind of like becoming a bit more intense when it comes to money, or saying that something is only worth something if it has a financial significance to it, which is going to be a very stressful way to live. There's also going to be a sense that we're going to be really inspired by people during this time, which we can think, oh wow, inspiration, that's going to be fantastic. But they're going to be people who we see as successful, because why would we be inspired by somebody who doesn't have any admirable traits? So we're going to be inspired by these people, and we're going to think, well, if I just do what they do. And what we're not going to realize is that our journey is our own, and we need to follow the path that is right for our hearts and for ourselves. And we cannot make ourselves into somebody else, no matter how successful they are, no matter how much we would like to be them. So this is really embracing us, and this can be a little bit difficult during this time. Now let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Personal power. I love this. Personal power here is the solar plexus chakra. We are embracing our power. We are embracing our determination, our insight, our ideas. There is really a sense here of, this is who I am. This is who I need to be. I'm finding my voice. I'm finding what I desire within my life. I am moving myself forward. And as we do this, we see what we want more and more. We see who we are more and more. And there's just a sense of, I am powerful. And we're embracing that power within ourselves. Now let's talk astrologically for a little bit here, because there's a lot going on in December. On the 17th of December, we have the Sun semi-sextile Pluto. Now this is a fantastic influencer. This makes us magnetic and charming. We are driven and determined, and it's almost as if we are so focused that anything can happen. We are so in tune with what we really want that we can just make it appear. So take advantage of this alignment of the Sun semi-sextile Pluto. Now we also have on the 17th of December, the Sun semi-sextile Venus. Now this adds to the power of today, of the 17th. We are embracing high energy vibrations, and if we are really exuding this high energy, there's just love coming into our lives, which helps us to move forward and to be successful, which is also going to connect us with love and with money. And we're going to find that we tend to make the right choice during this time. We tend to see things in a certain way, and it powerfully moves us forward. Even if the only opportunities that really start to open to us are the opportunities of self-confidence and seeing our worth and what we desire, that's a game changer here. On the 18th of December, we have the full moon in Gemini. This full moon is going to be in our home sign, meaning that it's going to be so much more powerful for us and so much more intense, and that will be covered in a separate video. On the 19th of December, we have Mercury squared Chiron. Now, Mercury is important to us, Gemini, because we're ruled by Mercury. We're all about the words. We're all about the connection. That's why when we start to speak somebody else's truth, we feel so out of sorts. That's why people say, oh, Geminis are flighty. It's like, okay, you can make an argument for that if you wanted to. But if you don't really know a Gemini, what you don't understand is that yes, we might be a little bit flighty at times, but we leave what isn't right for us. Our hearts usually start to scream at us, start to scream and scream and scream until we say, okay, I need to leave this. I need to move a different direction. And people who don't have that connection, they don't understand. So it can be very hard also for a Gemini to understand why somebody else would be like, well, just stick it out. And we'll say to them, well, don't you see I'm dying inside? Like, don't you see that this is so difficult for me? And they'll say, don't be so dramatic. And it's like, okay, we are obviously talking different languages at this point. So with the sun, I'm sorry, not with the sun, with Mercury squared Chiron, this configuration can make us anxious to embrace our words. We're going to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to say the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to do what is right. I'm going to be misunderstood. And that is actually something that we already deal with as Mercury rules us, as an air sign energy. That's one of the worst things that can happen, that we can be misunderstood, that we're not making ourselves clear, even that we can hurt somebody else's feelings. For those of us who are really sensitive and really in tune with the energy of the world, it's like, no, I just want to build everything up. I don't want to pull it down anymore. So we're going to have to be mindful here, because we need to be kind to ourselves. We need to realize that if people misunderstand us, if we're coming from a place of love and compassion, or even if we're just saying something that is innately true for the way that we perceive the world and for our souls, we don't need to be attacked. And the attacks that come, they can be somebody else's, own insecurities coming forward. And we have a way with words. We have a way with bringing things forward that can bring out hurts and pains in other people. So just be aware of that. The wounded warrior of Chiron, really does sometimes bring out the wounds in others that come out around words. So we're going to have to just be aware of that on the 19th. Now, also on the 19th of December, we have Venus going into retrograde until the 1st of January. Now, Venus going into retrograde can bring challenges when it comes to love, because Venus is aligned during this time with Pluto. This will make it a bit more challenging, okay, than a regular Venus retrograde. This will make things a little bit more like, okay, are they going the right way? Am I doing the right thing? We will have to remember to make time for our hearts and our emotions, to connect with our heart chakra, to connect with what we love. And this could be a time where we start to question things. We start to question our connection with the heart. We can start to question the connection with the abstract, with things that have cruelty to them. And so since life has cruelty to it, and, we could look at things and say, well, there's an all-seeing, all-powerful divinity that looks over. Why is this suffering happening? Why is this pain happening? Maybe at this time, we need to say, I can believe in a tree. I can believe in the ground that feeds me. I can believe in the water that quenches my thirst. And that needs to be enough for me right now. We have to be kinder to ourselves, because we're going to be more empowered. And this is going to be a time where we're connecting with our hearts, we're connecting with our emotions. And as we do so, again, remember that relationships can be a bit challenging. And it can be a relationship that we have with ourselves, a relationship that we have with divinity, and it's breaking things down. And it's taking things step by step on this day. Also on the 19th of December, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter. Now, with everything that's going on with Venus retrograde, we need this good luck. We need this alignment of the Sun sextile Jupiter. It brings us luck on our side. We seem to be at the right place at the right time. We are enthusiastic, we are self-confident, and this will serve us well if we let it. But if we don't let it, if we have the fear of the wounded warrior coming forward, if we think anything I say is going to be wrong, if we look at our relationships and see them as just a bit more challenging, or see the heart as a bit raw during this day, the Sun sextile Jupiter can bring the opportunity for success, but we are the ones who have to take it. On the 20th of December, we have Mercury semi-sextile Saturn, which again, anytime we see Mercury, this is a time that is like a red letter day for us. It shines very brightly within us. This is the alignment that gets things done. We are going to be focused of mind, and we're going to see the bigger picture of things. We are going to look at things and just have a knowing, just have a way of putting things together. It's like being able to instantaneously solve a puzzle. So that's going to be really good. We are organized, and we have excellent memories. We're also excellent at getting the job done, seeing a task and getting done what needs to get done. We may have a tendency to get too obsessive about things, get too focused on certain things and let other things fall away. So do be mindful of this during this time. Also on the 20th of December, we have Mercury trine Uranus. Now this is an amazing alignment. Here we are brilliant and creative. We really embrace the Three of Pentacles coming forward. And we're going to see that what we need we express. This is going to be a time where it's like, okay, these are my needs. This is what I desire. This is how I'm moving forward. And there's just going to be an openness of communication, which for Geminis, I mean, for anybody ruled by Mercury, this is a time where we start to shine. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, which just makes this even more intense for us anytime Mercury comes up. So we will have a tendency here to just connect. And that's going to really help us stay calm, help us stay focused, and we're going to feel a bit unstoppable. On the 21st of December, we have the winter solstice, which there will be a separate video on. And this is a time where we have the last day of Sagittarius energy, the first day of Capricorn energy, and so it's going to be powerful for us, especially since Sagittarius is our sister sign and just has a way of affecting us more so than almost anybody else can. On the 23rd of December, the North Lunar Node, leaves Gemini and enters into Taurus, which we have to remember. The North Lunar Node is the head of the dragon. The head of the dragon, the mouthpiece of the dragon, has been in Gemini. Communication has been our thing. This is also known as the embrace. The North Lunar Node is also known as embracing exactly what we need to embrace and learn to handle, what we need to see, how we need to handle things, how we need to put things together. So when it was in Gemini, when it was in our ruling sign, it was all about learning. It was all about curiosity. It was all about connection. With the North Lunar Node moving into Taurus, it's going to be more about things being firmly planted on the ground and connecting with the answers that we seek. The abstraction of Gemini energy could mean that we could ask a million questions and not really always need to find an answer. It's just almost the act of curiosity was enough for us. But with it entering into Taurus, we're going to want to find some really steadfast answers to things. On the 24th of December, Saturn is squared Uranus. I mean, this is Christmas Eve. This alignment makes us strong and independent. It makes us self-aware. It makes us progressive. It also brings inner tension, which is absolutely tremendous for creativity and spontaneity. There's going to be a sense of, I need to get things done. I need to look at things a different way. We're going to be inspired on this day and have a strong sense of responsibility and really appreciate stability, structure, and tradition. So we might find that on Christmas Eve, on the 24th of December, if we celebrate Christmas, this is going to be a day that we really like traditions, and we're also going to kind of like add some of our own here. We're going to embrace creativity, really have a fun time with it. On the 25th of December, we have Venus conjunct Pluto, which is Christmas Day. So if we celebrate Christmas, love is astoundingly important to us. This is going to be a day where we just love being in love with those around us, just connecting with family and friends and just connecting with the heart, however we do so. If we are of low energy vibration, we're going to need to be kind to ourselves because emotions are going to be so strong and the heart is going to be so powerful. So this is a day where we could sit in meditation, connect with our hearts, really embrace what we desire. This alignment connects us with our heart, with our passion. It also starts to connect us with our heart chakra and what we truly love and what we truly want to love. Mars is also going to be conjunct Chiron on this day. This is an intense an interesting alignment because you have the fiery passion of Mars and you have, again, the wounded warrior of Chiron. So it makes us aggressive with our desires and what we want, but it also means that we really have a desire to connect with people, to have to connect with ourselves, and to see what can be done without burning ourselves out. On the 26th of December, Mercury is sextile Neptune. Now, this alignment makes us extremely sensitive to the world around us and it can be a place of powerful psychic revelations, but it can almost feel like other people's wants and needs are going to be more important than our own. So just be aware of that during this time. Be kind to ourselves, listen to our instincts, really let ourselves show up for us, or else we can just get drained. On the 27th of December, Jupiter is squared the North Lunar Node. Now, this is known as a philosophical time. This means that we are looking at the questions, we are looking at, trying to discover answers. But again, the question of it, the seeking of it is going to be more important on this day. On the 29th of December, the Sun is squared Chiron, which this alignment makes us passionate and intense. But again, the wounded warrior of Chiron comes up, and this is a time where, again, we just feel other people so intensely that it can almost be overwhelming for us. And we need to not let other people's suffering outshine our own hearts. That's going to be something that we actually find tricky. On the 29th of December, Mercury is conjunct Venus. Again, Mercury, ruler of Gemini, also ruler of Virgo. So it comes through very, 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 very powerfully here. This is loving and refined and honest energy. This is a time of passion, and we're also going to find ourselves a bit submissive, a bit, wanting to help support power, but maybe not totally embrace power for ourselves. So just be aware of that. This is a really good supporting role day, or this is a great day of, discovering and planning things out. Maybe not, necessarily going for the kill or getting ourselves known. And if we're not into being known, then that's perfectly fine. This is going to be a day where we really connect very well with what is passionate about us, what drives us, and what leads us forward. Also on the 29th of December, Jupiter enters into Pisces. Now, on this time, Jupiter and Pisces, we're going to have a lot in common. It brings us spiritual growth. It brings us growth as an individual. It brings us wisdom. We're also going to find that Pisces energy is really strong on this day. And the increase of Pisces energy really comes into our lives. It's of love, and it's of being more compassionate and self-sacrificing. We will also have to be mindful about the energy that we're letting into our lives, because we're going to feel things so intensely. And again, it enhances our psychic gifts. So if we're seeing ourselves open to our psychic gifts, December is a month where things become so much more intense. On the 30th of December, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto, which again comes through very powerfully because of us being ruled by Pluto, by Mercury, and by Virgo also being ruled by Mercury. This is an alignment of powerful intellect and intense curiosity. We want to know the hows and the how comes about everything. We can be astoundingly intense and have a unique way of communication. So here, Gemini, we already have a unique way of communicating with people, of communicating ideas. So we are going to find that that's just increased, and we have to really embrace our words. And we have this beautiful persuasion and also this beautiful practicality. So it's going to come out in our words. It's going to come out how we're connecting and the insight that we're embracing. So be aware of that. On the 30th of December, we also have Mars sextile Saturn. Now, Saturn rules Capricorn, which is right here, which is the devil. So that, which is represented by the devil in the tarot. So this is going to be powerful for us also, because we have here that this makes us very, very driven and very focused. We are going to be cautious and calm on the exterior. Our exterior is not going to match our interior. So people are going to sit there and be like, oh, you're questioning, you're looking, you're seeing, you're developing here, Gemini, but I don't really have to worry about you because you're not going to be a threat, or, you're not really focusing on the bigger picture of what maybe I want to go after. But what they're not going to see is that we are intensely ambitious. This alignment makes us intensely ambitious. And there's nothing that's going to be able to hold us back from our long-term goals. We're going to be looking at things from different angles. We're going to be taking things in differently, and then we're going to just go kind of for the kill, but we're really going to go after what we desire and what we want. Now, Lilith remains direct during this whole month, and it is in Gemini, which again really is impactful for us. This means that we can talk our way out of almost anything. We just have this beautiful way of connecting and this beautiful insight, though we might smooth over things that we don't see as positive, or we don't see to adding to what we desire. So we're going to have a tendency to sweep what we don't like under the rug, and we're just going to have to be aware of that, because it might not always work the best for us. We might need to be a little bit honest or a little bit more forthright with what we see as harmful things. We're not going to want to be, but that's going to be important, because we're going to have a tendency during this time to get bored with things if they're too easy. And sometimes if we build things up to be too positive, we're also going to find that it becomes a little bit too easy, or it becomes a little bit boring in the way that people are embracing it. So just be mindful of that. We're going to like the chase better than we like the prize. So again, that's going to be very powerful for us. But we're going to find here that we're turning inward. We're turning inward, and one of the things that we're chasing during this time is our connection with ourselves, our deeper desire, the light that's illuminating our path, our passion, our insight, our ideas. The Hermit comes forward and says, well, what about me? What about the connection with me? And because this is a time of such powerful psychic development, because this is a time where we're looking at things and saying, yeah, but what is it that I want? What is it that I desire for myself? This becomes the game changer. And as we embrace this game changing time, as we look inward and let our dreams start to focus us, become more aligned with our hearts, become more aligned with what we desire, become more aligned with the image that we had once upon a time, before we thought, oh, I have to be practical for the rest of the world. And we're starting to find ourselves again. And as we find ourselves again, the devil comes in and says, do you stay chained or don't you? It's almost like we're confronting something that is overpowering. And as we look at the chains that bind us, as we look at the way that keeps us held back, this could be societal norms. This could be what we thought of success and how we thought we had to be successful. This could be how we were raised. This could be a myriad of things. This could be us being afraid to truly embrace our dreams and saying, no, I'm going to be chained to practicality, and say, well, I'm just being practical. There are bills to be paid, there are things to be done. And yes, that all is true. But what about the heart? What about the passion? What about the self? And it could be that we have something on the side that we just love to do. And this is going to be a time that we need to embrace it, or else we're going to feel chained and small and as if we can never truly get to what we love. This is a time of breaking chains. This is a time of realizing that there's so much more for us than what we realized or what other people thought there was. And it brings us to the Two of Swords. It brings us to looking at a path. We thought that there was one road or another. We thought you walked this way or you walked that way. And you couldn't be different. You couldn't stand out. But this is also a time of saying, why not? Why not be different? Why not stand out? Why not embrace who we truly are and what we truly love and what we desire? Why not walk a different path than everybody else and see where it takes us? Or maybe walk a path that only a few people are brave enough or maybe crazy enough to walk. But come from a place of compassion, come from a place of understanding, come from a place of healing. And this starts to change our world. It starts to change what we think is possible, and it moves us to the Six of Cups. There is something from our past telling us we can't. Now, this could be negativity that we grew up with. This could be, we always have to struggle, or we always have to work so hard. Nothing ever comes easy to us. Don't you dare think that you're different type of energy that comes with growing up. This could be somebody who always had anger around money, so there was fear around money when we were growing up, or there was fear around being emotionally accepted. We might not have been the child that our parents wanted or the child that our guardians wanted, and so we always felt inadequate as we grew and always felt like I have to be something different in order to truly be embraced. And this is a time where we're looking at it and saying, no, I get to be what my heart desires. I get to open up my loving self to me. Because the first person who needs to love me, the first person who needs to cherish me is me. And if we were lucky enough, we have somebody who loved us as we were growing, somebody who showed us what that love is. If we weren't, we need to connect with our angels, we need to connect with our spirit guides, we need to connect with the earth, and we need to say, what is love? And how do I embrace it? How do I call it into my life? How does it get to be a part of me? And we have to listen. This is also understanding that past is past. The good times and the bad times, they don't get to dictate anymore our present. It moves us to the Three of Pentacles. It moves us to guarding our prosperity. It moves us to paying attention to our dreams with the puppies. It moves us to a bounty coming forward, but we're creating it. We're creating warmth to wrap around us. We're creating, snuggling into ourselves and understanding what we desire and what we want and what's important to us and what isn't. We're building something greater than we realized. And as we're building this greatness within us, we're building ourselves and we're moving ourselves forward. It brings us to the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is transformation. The King of Wands is passion and desire and fire. And this is a time where we're going to really look at that and say, I want more fire in my life. I want more passion in my life. I want creativity in my life. I'm tired of the monotony. And as we're saying, I'm tired with the monotony, we're being asked, well, are you going to do something about it? Or are we going to sit there and say, I'm tired of this, and yet keep living every day the same? So here, there is fire, there's creativity, there's intensity that comes forward. But we're being asked, what will we truly do with it? How will it truly impact us? Will we take it or won't we? The King of Wands is also an astoundingly passionate person. But it can be that this passionate person has a hard time sticking around. We could have found somebody in our lives that we thought, wow, this is astounding. But yet they couldn't commit. They couldn't, stay where they needed to stay, or where we needed them to stay. Because they're always wondering. They're always, looking at things from different angles, or they always have to follow the fire that burns. And sometimes when the fire is all burnt up, they need to just go away. They need to just regroup. And that could have been something that was very hard for us to learn or to understand or even come to an acceptance of. It brings us to the Seven of Swords. There have been betrayals in our waking world, as there have been betrayals in everybody's waking world. But this is a time where we're starting to see, do I get to be defined by these betrayals? Do I get to be defined by this hurt? Or does there get to be something else in my life? Does there get to be something more that moves me forward? What we look at here is we call out what we don't want anymore, or the hurts and the pains, or the lies that we have programmed within our own head that say you can't. And now we're going to find out, oh yes, I can. Oh yes, I can move myself forward. Oh yes, I can connect to this energy. Oh yes, I can become the person that I want. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the betrayals of the world to my soul and to myself. I'm done with the hate and the hurt and the pain and the disappointment. And I'm done letting that be my guiding factor. It moves us to the Four of Wands. It moves us to a celebration. Now, this could be a celebration of something where people will say, okay, I see that. You got a new job. You're celebrating it. You got a new house. You're celebrating it. But this is also a celebration of the joy that we get to walk in our waking world, in our lives, meaning that we get to choose our happiness. Even when life isn't going our way, even when the world is sad and overwhelming, we get to make the choice of letting it destroy us or saying, this isn't my end game. This isn't where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. There's more that is coming. We raise our energy vibration, and it might be that the people around us don't like being around us anymore because we're too powerful. We're not connecting with them. We're not connecting on the same wavelength. People do not like energy that is different than their energy. People will either rise with us or they will walk away. There are some who will actively try to pull us down. But if we stay in a high energy vibration, if we say, you know what, you get to have your bad day, everybody does, but you don't get to bring me down. You don't get to make my day bad. You don't get to ruin my joy and my acceptance of myself and my love. Well, that becomes the game changer. And that's going to be something about this end of 2021 that we've just come to the conclusion of. And as we step into 2022, we step into the angel number 222. The number of new beginnings. And those new beginnings are powerful. Those new beginnings are tremendously brilliant. And that's what we're embracing. So let's look at the subconscious energy we need to be mindful of. We need to be mindful of Cancer energy. We need to be mindful of other people's emotions getting to dictate ourselves. We need to be mindful of the subconscious and the conscious not coming together. Meaning inwardly we want one thing, but externally we're going after another. Has there ever been a time in your life, and just what's coming up for me, I remember I was in a job I hated. I have never hated a job so much, but I hated working that job. I worked at a hotel. It was the worst thing I had ever done. And I was going for a promotion. But I hated working there. I was miserable. It was absolutely against my being. And so going for the promotion was the worst thing that I could have done because it would have been very hard to walk away from. And that was when my external self and my internal self, my subconscious and my conscious, were not on the same page. And then that just rips you apart. So here, be mindful. Be mindful. We might be being terribly practical. We might say, you know what, this is better pay or this is a better opportunity. But we need to make sure that it connects with us, that it feels right. And that sounds silly, but it's going to be really important here. It moves us to our subconscious chakra message, which is the third eye, which is so funny because I almost said third eye message. So here we have visualization coming forward. We have to see what we want, but also we need to connect and see. Imagery is important. It also gets a really bad rap because visualization, they say, okay, visualize it and it will happen. No, it won't always happen. But what we're doing when we're visualizing is we're embracing the fact that the mind doesn't necessarily know the difference between make-believe and reality. That's why we can get immersed in books. That's why we can get immersed in movies and feel like we were there because we know the emotions and our minds are really taking it in and saying, oh, wow. And so here, when we're visualizing something, we're starting to lay down the pathway. We're starting to say, I can have that promotion. I can embrace that success. I can move forward and find that love or, find that joy. And as we put down the pathway in our mind, we start to see ourselves grow and grow and grow. We're going to also have to visualize, or maybe want to visualize, the roadblocks that may come in our way, the things that we have to overcome, the way that we have to be strong. Because we're going to tell ourselves, and we're telling our mind, you can do this. You already have once, even if it's only in our thoughts. And then also visualization. when we're looking at problems that we have, when we're looking at hurts and pains that are in our lives, might come forward as certain darknesses, like, just that black inky blob that can come forward, or monsters, or, an overabundance of light that blinds us that we're not ready to see. We need to visualize, because we need to say, where am I? Where am I spiritually? Where am I psychically? Where am I emotionally? And how do I open up the door to me? It brings us to our subconscious rooted energy. And this is Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy. This is our sister sign. Temperance is moving us forward. Balance is coming forward within us. But we like to be like the wind. I don't know why I pointed to the devil, but because Gemini, when we are represented in the cards, we're represented with the angel over us and the two before. So the devil is like us in reverse, our counterpart, right? But here we have Temperance, and it's saying be balanced, be in harmony. But sometimes we have so many questions. We want to know so much. We want to see so much. We want to understand so much that it only feels like we're in discord. And harmony comes when you've known. And a Gemini is never done knowing. Temperance guides us. Balance and harmony, it doesn't have to be forever. It can be for a moment. It can be for an inhale. It can be for a blink of an eye. But it gets to change us as we embrace the balance, as we embrace the harmony of ourselves, as we temper the waters within us, the emotions in the air. So it's not a cyclone, but it's a beautiful breeze that cools us and guides us. It moves us to our subconscious in ourself. And that's the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is changing our mind and changing our whole entire lives. We're changing the way we look at things. We're changing what we accept. We're changing what we desire. We're embracing who we are. The Five of Pentacles comes in. The Five of Cups comes in and says we can spend our whole life looking at what will never be again. Or we can turn around and see the Two of Cups standing. The Minor Arcana Lover's card. Us in the Minor Arcana. And we can embrace our joy, our prosperity, our success, our brilliance. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the Five of Wands. Subconsciously, we have the repeat of the number 5. We're going through a big change. We're going to think it actually takes longer than it does. Subconsciously, we're so used to chaos, especially emotionally. We're used to chaos, we're used to hurt, we're used to pain, we're used to disappointments, we're used to people yelling and screaming and, just having to soothe the waters, or just having to escape, or getting caught up in the conflict. And what Spirit is saying here is that this doesn't get to be our default anymore. Chaos doesn't get to be our answer. It is something that we are looking at and saying, I see you, but I am not ruled by you. And so we are embracing our true hearts and what we desire. Emotionally, it will be so easy to fall into chaos. It will be so easy to embrace the thoughts that disrupt our soul. Looking at it, understanding it, and not letting it rule us, that's going to be the game changer. It moves us to our subconscious, public arena self. And that is the Knight of Coins. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, slowly and steadily building our prosperity, being patient with the way that we're developing. Subconsciously, we're going to want things to move more quickly. Why? Because we're air sign energy. When it comes to the Knights, we are the fastest moving Knight. This is the slowest. So we're going to think, oh my goodness, can't you just move quicker? Can't we just embrace this? But we're going to be building something that lasts. And building something that lasts, well, it takes a good deal of time. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. Yes. May you have had a blessed 2021. And may it be finished and done as we enter into the new beginning of 2022. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of our third eye, as we embrace the power of ourselves, and as we see determination and focus and insight coming to us like never before. May we open our minds and open our souls. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.